Hey there. Thank you for checking out this essay. For many ideas of this moment, one of them that would be the most fantastic to any other time has now become that of an expectation. Consider how much of any given day's conversation is commentary on the pace of something, or how frustrating it's become when the shipping just isn't fast enough. Let alone considering how many times components fly around to become what is now inconceived that it will be later than desired. The environment that we're living in seeps into us, unless we're some special kind of transcendent individual. So this expectation of speed starts to become that for everything. Every problem, every solution is optimized for speed. What that type of expectation results in is an inability to see a clear causal chain, let alone any deep understanding of the problem or solution. Understanding can only come from effort. The antidote to this, that should be of our time yet isn't, as far as I'm concerned, is the now and long focusing of one's thoughts and actions. Focusing to align with the present moment, and in doing so, a more thriving time, some 1,000 or more years off. Let's start by breaking it down with the now. Now is a reflection, not so much a thing we can really grab onto. Just as any time, it's slippery. And as soon as we try to grab and hold on to now, it'll be soon off. Lofty thought aside, where it is that you are, knowing that this moment is temporary. Are you where you want to be? Are you suffering? Are you thriving? Why yes or why no? What is it in this moment to be grateful for? After that gets you a sense of, wow, I'm in this moment. If you're to wander with these thoughts, you'll end up existing somewhere in the now. And the most effective thing you can do now is take action. Move yourself towards an even more improved version. Only we know for ourselves what we need to improve. Stop ignoring or start reading to further understand. So at a time, reflect on what you really need, what you deeply desire. Where in the now do you want to be? Is it mental improvement, physical, or is it something you want to achieve? Now, reflect. How can you better align your actions with what you want to achieve or where you want to reach? What next action can you do that aligns with that goal, that desire? If there's nothing now, resolve to enjoy the moment, or endure it, depending. But come back to this thought throughout your actions and through your passive inaction. Cliché but true, the present is all we have. The past will haunt us, the future deceive us, but only when we are here in the now is when we really exist. Instead of distracting ourselves and running away, exist. Most of us, myself included, have rushes of thoughts when I'm not occupying my mind with a task. The trick isn't to just flood ourselves or be run by the thoughts. No. The trick is working them out. Through working out our minds as a muscle, we can learn how to allow this passage flow of thoughts further our handle on the now, further our handle on what is in front of us. Taking our thoughts, massaging them, working them out, aligning them with what we actually want, what we actually would like to have a goal of, to be most tranquil, most ourselves, and most blissful, is the process of aligning our actions with those desires, and it will have a similar effect. When you get somewhere enjoyable, stop and actually enjoy it, especially if it's something you've been looking forward to. Ask yourselves, what are your passions? What arises a lot of energy in you? What gets you excited? Your passions are a way to align both your thoughts and actions and exercise this mind muscle. You see, entering a flow state while embodying one of our passions, each time we do it builds a little deeper of a groove for how we'll find that state again. Repeat this, and you're going to end up getting into that flow state faster each time, as well as building little breadcrumbs of how to get there in other places outside of that repeated action. This flow state mentality isn't an original thought of mine. In fact, none of this, fuck all of this, is original at all. This is the basis for a huge swath of philosophies and ways of being, which is to suggest a deeper truth. But speaking in the lexicon of my time that I find kind of appalling, but nonetheless I will do it, this thinking also has tremendous utility. Improved mental clarity, happiness, motion towards goals, empathy, patience, everything that you would need to be a well-rounded, thriving human. Which brings us nicely to the next phase of our pair, thinking long, or how to think in the course of 1,000 years. It's actually no different than what's already been suggested. Pay attention, be intentional, make progress. By our contemporary standards, there's always something demanding our attention. We're no longer in a pull society, where access to us, or into us, mostly comes as a result of our effort. Information speeds have changed. That's changed the way we notice things, or lack of noticing things thereof. But there's ways we can do it. Noticing that there's a stream, and then how that stream shifts during seasons, or what birds come at what time of the year. These are obvious ones that have stood the test of time, human in memoriam. And I'm not suggesting that we all grab binoculars and call for woodpeckers in the forest, but simply maybe it just starts with noticing there's birds that are visible at all. Perhaps we wonder just for a moment, and how what is standing in front of us, would it even exist 1,000 years if we just rapidly advanced from where we stand? That could possibly spark deeper curiosity into how we build something that can thrive further afield into the future. Taking one step into 1,000 years from now, the first thing that comes up is we need people, which means we need babies. And if we're thriving in 1,000 years, we need well-raised babies. Which I say well-raised because if they're there and on the whole we're thriving, then on the whole they would imply a sound upbringing. As we know, we come out of the womb blank slates. We need an upbringing. We need an understanding of the world and how to interact with it in order for us to thrive. Now, there's members of us that can thrive through hellish experiences, but that's the outliers. And what, insofar as I am concerned, is requisite of good parenting is parents who are most frequently in the now with their children, existing with them, understanding them, being with them. Score more for now. Thriving also implies that there's problems being solved. Read action taken. A collection of individuals would have to share ideas, would have to have gotten past all their hurdles to solve problem after problem after problem. You see, it goes back to what I said before. By aligning our actions with our desires, it will get us closer to solving issues that plague us as a person. That caffeine problem I still just can't give up, or how easily it is for me to slip back into scrolling whole hours away. But see, in solving with effort our present decisions towards our desires, like me writing this essay and then later recording it, this is me doing that. This is me putting down the phone, not making another cup, and making an action. And if we individually do that, it is in doing those actions up and out between all of us that'll raise like an exponent, solving our personal weights, in turn building into our habits, then repeating until we've started to see a path towards what we're actually working to achieve. When enough of us achieve this continuum of effort, that's when the lasting action takes place. The greatest, most lasting of movements happen one person at a time. Then to think how to build a millennium into the future that's thriving, I need only to live now. And with that, I hope a truthful paradox has become obvious. For the obvious is everything. To think, plan, and create a thriving existence 1,000 years from now, it doesn't start with government programs, rapid industrialization, or Elon Musk, but with each of us individually in our own heads right now, continuously, forever. Real quick before the episode begins, if you like what you hear, please tap that follow or subscribe button. You also can find this episode, all episodes in the series, or check out our Daily Minute podcast by visiting us at bandwidth.productions.